Cider fans? This is Justin from the Cider Guys here, and I want to welcome you to our next episode of our Meet the Maker series. Today we are traveling to Cedar Grove, North Carolina, just north of Hillsboro, and we are meeting with Amy and Keather from Botanist and Barrel. Now, Keather is the head cider and fruit wine maker at Botanist and Barrel, and Amy is kind of their all-around marketing, just jack of all trades. Amy's husband, Lyndon, and Keather are brother and sister, and they started Botanist and Barrel. They bought a blueberry farm out there in Cedar Grove, and then started the cidery slash winery from that. So I hope you really enjoy this one. Now, I'm going to say at the beginning of this thing that it was in Hillsville, and that is wrong. It's just north of Hillsboro, so near Durham, North Carolina. But anyways, hope you enjoy this episode. And as always, if you want to know more about our Meet the Maker series, just click the link right above my head here, and this will take you to our first video where we describe a little bit of what the Meet the Maker series is. As always, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, so that you always get the latest updates, and every time we post a new video, you'll get an update for that. Please leave your comments down in the comments below the description. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you'd like to see anybody else on this Meet the Maker series. But I hope you enjoy the video, and as always, from the Cider Guys, cheers. All right, cider fans, so we're here at Botanist and Barrel in Hillsville, North Carolina, right? Hillsville?
Cedar Grove.
Cedar Grove,
North Carolina,
okay.
just north of Hillsboro.
There you go. So we're in Cedar Grove, North Carolina, and we're here with Amy and Keather, and we're going to be just talking a little bit about Botanist Barrel and where they started, and give you a little insight into what they've got going on here. So thank y'all for sitting down with us. We really appreciate it. Y'all taking your time out of your day to be with us. First question is, just tell us a little bit about how you guys got started here in Cedar Grove.
So my husband and Keather, their brother and sister, they actually were able to buy this blueberry farm, and so we were all kind of like brainstorming together, like what can we do with this blueberry farm besides like have delicious fruit for everyone. And so my husband and I's background is in wine, and I love wine. That's all of my career's been in wine for 15 years, and we really wanted to make something a little bit different. Keather is a chef. She's like very creative. She's our cider maker, and we all wanted to kind of find something we could all do together as a family and work together and build and make something for our children.
And something that's year-round as opposed to a blueberry season, which is very short.
2 months.
Right.
Maybe if we're lucky.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then you just got started here.
So then we were like, oh, Lyndon was like, let's make blueberry wine, and I was like, how about we make cider so we can make a living?
There you go.
A lot of blueberries to make blueberry wine.
Yes, and it's very expensive. And we have a certified organic farm, and they're the best blueberries on earth, I think, in our opinion. And so we make blueberry cider. Actually, we use so many blueberries in some of our things that we actually label it wine, because it's really more like a fruit wine than a cider. But we kind of blur the lines between, we do fruit wines, ciders, or even today we were just playing with making some type of aperitif, maybe like a vermouth-like thing in the future. So
awesome, awesome. So kind of tell us about your cider. So you said you make blueberry cider. So what kind of ciders do you make here, and kind of what is your philosophy behind the ciders that you make? Kind of what do you want to get out of them?
Okay, so there's a few different directions we can go with this, but one thing is that we believe all fruits are created equal. So apples obviously given with cider, and then the blueberries from the blueberry farm. But we like to ferment with peaches, with blackberries, with muscadines, with strawberries. So whatever we can find local in season, we buy it up, and then we play.
Oh, cool.
So we even have stuff with persimmons in tank right now, and they're in a barrel. So
Papa's and persimmons, which is like very
Yeah.
North Carolina. Papa's like a banana mango fruit, if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But another thing that we like to do is barrel aging. So we've played with wine barrels, spirits barrels, beer barrels. So just really
maple syrup bourbon barrels,
yeah.
Wow.
sea salt barrels, but the weirder the better. We try to find some weird, fun stuff. I mean, I would love to have a sherry cask or something in the future. When
we have a honey
more
bourbon
money.
barrel
Oh, sweet.
right now. And then, so we do barrel swaps with breweries. So they'll ferment beer and cider
Or
barrel.
wineries or meaderies or
and,
whoever wants
you know.
to do a collaboration with us maybe, or is looking for something a little bit different. And then the other point, I think, is that we really like to make a natural product. So I would really call what we're making similar to natural wine. It's a big debate in the wine business, but basically all natural wine is not manipulated. You're not manipulating things. You're letting the fruit do the work for itself. You're you're doing wild spontaneous fermentation. So we do 2 different styles. We make most of what we make are still ciders like wine. Everything we make is going to be dry, so a different style than a lot of ciders that are in the market or have been in the market in the past. Now there's a lot of new things and experimental things, and people doing a lot more dry ciders. Not afraid to make a still cider. Not afraid to make a sour cider. You know, there's a huge sour beer movement. Why not make sour cider? We are fruit. That's what we make, our product out of. So. So we make like petulant natural ciders. So if we do sparkle, it's going to be naturally. We don't have any machinery in our winery. It's all just a tank behind you and
a small pump
and a pressure washer. That's the only machinery we have in the winery. So
so we're not filtering, we're not pasteurizing, and everything that is sparkling is bottle conditioned. So there's no forced carbonation.
Or bottled in primary, which is called the ancestral method or petulant natural method, and that's when you just bottle in primary, and then it does the secondary fermentation in the bottle to make it bubbly. Just leave just enough sugar to have that secondary fermentation.
It's a hard thing to nail, but we're not afraid of risk.
Okay, well, that's good. So you like to experiment? That sounds good.
Absolutely.
We do. I think we've been open for maybe almost like
a year
20
and a half.
months. Yeah, a little over a year and a
yeah.
half, and I think we've made over 80 different ciders at least.
Wow.
I think so. Yeah.
So 80 different labels. Our cider's a little bit higher in alcohol, like wine. So we start at 7%, go all the way up to 15, depending on what we're making. I would say most of our ciders fall around 8 to 9, or between 8 and 10.
Okay, gotcha. Do you have a favorite so far?
I think my favorite thing Keather has ever made was, I really like when we used to play with gin barrels for some reason, especially
that blueberry and gin barrel.
Ex-gin barrel. Bourbon gin barrel, but it was our tart blueberry cider that we aged in a gin barrel, and it was 12% somehow. Blueberries actually have a lot of sugar, so they actually come out pretty high. We have a sour blueberry right now that's 10.5%, so it's a little bit on the higher side. But yeah, the tart blue gin barrel, which we're making another batch right now. You're making another batch right now? Not we're
soon. We have something in a gin barrel now.
Anyway,
I have a hard time keeping up.
It'll be back soon. Now we used a different type of gin barrel, so that's the other thing that we do. Our ciders, we do have some core products, but they're never going to be exactly the same when we make them again, because there's so many different factors. The fruit's a different year, the vintage, So we like to, for some reason the TTB doesn't let you put vintage on your ciders, which I really want to kind of figure out how to fight for that, because every year is different, and our stuff, it does age well, and you can, you want to be able to know. So we write the vintage on the bottle just on the side, but it's not like, it doesn't say vintage, it just says batch number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at least we know when this was made, and we can hold some, we always try to hold a little back if we can.
Gotcha. I got you. So now who were you saying that doesn't allow that vintage to be put on there?
The federal government.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, I don't understand, because cider is wine. We're making, it's the same process as grape wine making, and they're allowed to have vintage, but I guess because, there's just all these dumb rules that really just need to go away.
Yeah, I think we run into that too a lot is through the people that we've talked to in the cider industry and everything is that's kind of the resounding theme is they always have a hard place classifying ciders. Like some people want to call it, put it right there in the classification with beer, some people want to put it with wine, and some people want to leave it all to their own.
I think it really is need to be on its own. Yeah.
So and I think that's, and I think you guys and the struggle that you're having there is not you're not alone in that. I think a lot of people are unfortunately having that same thing. So hopefully maybe we can lobby for a little bit of change.
I know.
But that,
Need vintage.
so 80 different varieties since they started. That's awesome. I mean, that's just great. Collaborations and just
really busy.
fantastic.
I like to play.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean,
And
we're really small batch, so
Yeah.
it's able to do things like that. This is little tiny barrel up there. Oh, that's the honey one. Honey bourbon. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool. But yeah, I mean, but I think that adds a little bit of, it adds a little bit of you into it, though. I mean, it's not, you're not just, turning and burning. It's made, it's passion that's in each one of them.
And really, it's because we're letting the fruit kind of dictate what we do. So, if
We taste a lot. We're always,
we get plums and then we're like, wait, there's gin barrels available. What do we think about putting the plum cider in the gin barrel? Oh yeah, let's do it, So, and there's always something. So we just embrace that and go for it.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. So now, I know you guys bottle most of your stuff, right? You don't keg, or do you can?
Oh,
keg?
yeah,
Do you do keg?
We keg probably about half our production is in sixtels,
Okay.
and then half in bottle. We started really strong with just the bottles, and we weren't kegging in the very beginning. But then I think that's a really important way to get your cider out and get people to try it and taste it.
Gotcha. And so for our watchers here, where can they find Botanist and Barrel right now? Where are you guys?
Yeah, we're actually our biggest account. I mean, not biggest account. One of our bigger, well-known accounts is Whole Foods, so you can find us in Whole Foods. And then we're in over 300 independent restaurants and bottle shops all throughout North Carolina. We're also in South Carolina and Georgia now, so mostly in the Atlanta area in Georgia and Charleston and Greenville. We have distribution. We have distributors there, and then we self-distribute in North Carolina, and that's actually most of what I do. That's my job. I'm just getting it in people's mouths and preaching the Botanist and Barrel gospel of dry natural cider and sour cider and funky fruit wines and
All right. Cool.
yeah. So we're on tap at a lot of breweries, local breweries. At Durham's right down the street, full steam. We're always you can find us on tap.
Most of the state covered, although not a lot east of Raleigh.
Yeah,
There's
Wilmington.
we're
We're just starting to crack into the Wilmington market.
But,
Okay.
Yeah.
but Charlotte, Winston, Greensboro, Asheville, Durham, big. They're
Cool.
close.
That's good though. I mean,
lot of
just
drinkers.
for small batch stuff like that to be that distributed and that widely available, that's really cool, and I think that just shows the versatility of what you can do and how it that's really it's really good stuff. Also.
And we work hard.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we're all busy in our
all
roles
hustling.
for sure, and then they all overcross
I got you.
at some time or another.
I
We
got
wear
you.
many hats.
There's 4 of us, and we have 2 employees.
I got you. Yep, I think that's another thing that I think we see a lot out in the cider industry now, especially in the smaller version. I mean, it's just that there's a lot of hard work, a lot of passion that goes into it. That's good. So you talked about wanting to expand out towards the coast. Now, what are your other growth plans for Botanist and Barrel?
Well, one of them
Can we reveal the secret?
I think we can reveal the secret. We so far bottle in half bottle 375s, full 750s, and keg as we discussed, and the market wants cans, so we're trying to buy a canner. So we'll see if we can.
There you go.
Yeah.
We can get all the money together and
The
get her
government
done.
shutdown is
But
making
yes.
that a little bit difficult because
bet.
we have to sit on some product.
Yeah, we
now
had some
'cause we're
stuff in
waiting.
motion, and I mean the canning is a whole new label. We always have to go through the TTB like wine, so it's a whole nother process. If you're under 7%, you don't have to go through the government and get a cola, which now we haven't been able to get a new cola to get any new ciders approved. So basically, we don't want to spend money on something we can't use right away. So we've kind of changed what we're doing and slowed things down a little bit with that. But definitely in 2019, I think you'll see our first Botanist and Barrel canned product out there in
Gotcha.
the market.
And how do you, and your guys, I guess your products and your cider and everything being, kind of the different, the funky things and stuff like that, and more, you do a lot of the bottle aging stuff and the bottle, getting it, the natural carbonation. Do you feel like the can will change your product? Do you think that it'll still hold true?
It's going to be a different product. It's going to be like nothing we've ever made.
Yeah.
So still, I mean, and it's too early to say exactly what we are making because we're still experimenting with that exactly. But some kind of funky yeast, and it'll be something more simple. It's not gonna be some heavily fruited thing in a can. It's gonna be like a thing that it's a go-to, like easy drinking, goes with everything, approachable kind of cider.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. May see some Botanist and Barrel cans. That's pretty cool. Very cool. All right. So now let's move away from just Botanist and Barrel a little bit. Let's talk about cider industry as a whole. How do you guys see the cider industry going right now, and kind of what do you feel like the future of cider, not just here in North Carolina, but just kind of overall? How's that going?
Well, it's definitely an industry that's growing. And there's also a shift that's happening in terms of the apples that are being planted in the orchards. So as we know, with Prohibition, all these apple trees literally got taken out.
Right.
So, you couldn't use them for making cider. So the land was more valuable to have something planted. So they're gone. So a lot of cider is being made with dessert apples. We get as much cider apples as we can.
Yeah, we call them
and try to
dessert
get
apples,
blend,
eating apples.
blended.
Stuff you see at the grocery store,
But so in order to make the best cider, it helps to have the best apples.
Right.
So there's the apple growers are recognizing this, and they're putting in more and more cider apples. People at home are putting in more cider apples to do small batches.
Yeah.
We're putting in more cider apples here at our farm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
we've got like about an acre right now, and hopefully we'll get another acre or two.
We're gonna
this
start
year.
grafting.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's
So
all
that's one
the farm
thing.
process.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Cool. So y'all
Yeah.
kind of a one-stop shop here. You're just kind of self-sustaining almost.
Go out in the yard and make
That's very
something
cool,
with
though.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I think that in the future, I think you're going to see ciders going a little bit more. People are really into health, I mean, they don't want to be soda. I feel like, of course, people still drink soda, but if I want a soda, I'm going to drink a soda. I don't really want to reach for a cider pop exactly. So I think in the future, people are going to be making a lot more serious cider, like we said, with better apples. Keather was saying, with more bitter apples, and they want to be drinking something that's, semi-healthy. Like, red wine has a lot of great health benefits. And I think cider and fruit wine has a lot of really great health benefits, especially if it's unpasteurized and you get those probiotics in raw, fruit. So I think people are going more towards like this more serious cider, the drier ciders that are going to go better with food, pair better with food, and just, I think it's going to go back more towards the classics, and just making, single varietal ciders. We're doing our first couple single varietals this year, Arkansas Black and Wine Sap later in the year.
Cool.
So that'll be cool, and then I think it's just going to get weirder. It's going to go both ways, more classic and more weird.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. You see already a lot of experimentation, and sometimes we'll have an idea, and then we look and we're like, oh, somebody else already did that.
It's great. I think it's awesome. Yeah, and it's a lot of people are playing with barrels for cider, which really wasn't a thing. I mean, it's always been a thing. It's the oldest way of making
and
wine.
then it kind of
forever,
died out, and now it's making a
Having a little
resurgence.
resurgence.
Yeah, a little
That's
bit
cool.
more craft or fine cider, fine wine, a little bit more. Yeah, not your cider pop that you see everywhere.
But that is also like the gateway into cider for a lot of people.
Yeah, which
So
same thing with wine. I mean, you go.
It's still important for us to have
The Sutter Homes and the Gallows, and get them on the wine train. I mean, I think that's how we all started.
Yeah.
Some white Merlot.
Oh yeah. No, I remember. I've never been a beer drinker myself, and I've always liked the ciders. But for the longest time, it was always woodchuck. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Then you got something like Angry Orchard, and then you got Bold Rock coming in, and now that everybody's branching out, and we got you guys, and we've got Bull City. They're really doing a lot of cool and different and things, and to me it's refreshing to see that variety's finally coming back. You can walk into a bottle shop and get thousands of beers,
Right.
and they might have a little cider spot.
Yeah.
But
You
now
know,
that
like
cider is
reach
slowly growing, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like breweries
Yeah.
might offer 2 ciders on tap
Yeah.
now instead of just one. It's amazing.
That's right.
It's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, like actually at a lot of breweries, like we're the dry option, then they might have a sweet option, which I think is great.
That is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appeals to a
Yeah.
lot more people.
And the
Yeah.
gluten-free thing has also kind
Yeah.
of brought a lot of people from beer to cider.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we kind of see a lot of people doing right now is kind of honing in on that gluten-free thing. You know, for the longest time, you know, it was on there, it was on the bottles and stuff like that, but nobody really ever said, you know, this is something you can
Right.
have. You know, and
Yeah.
I finally think we're finally seeing that point come
Yeah.
to light as well.
Yeah.
So, how about barriers? Now, do you see barriers for ciders in the industry? Like, what's you think that? I guess if you had one big barrier that for ciders.
It's just a lot of red tape with dealing with the federal government and stuff.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, it'd be nice if we had
hardest part.
actually. I mean, it's like you want less rules, but you want more rules too. Like it would be nice if there was like more classifications and like people knew exactly what they were getting. You know, like actually on our, I think people know our style because they're all dry. There's really no confusion. It's like you know, if you're getting Botanist and Barrel cider, and you're familiar with it, you know it's going to be dry. But a lot of ciders, you know, they'll put like a little scale in the back, and they'll have like kind of where
sweetness.
it's at for the sweetness level. But it's nice, you know. I want people to know what they're buying, so they like what they've brought home, you know. And
Gotcha.
but a little bit more classification, like adding vintage and and stuff like that. Yeah.
Gotcha. So just giving cider its own niche, giving its own classification so it can do its thing. Gotcha.
Yeah, a
Gotcha.
little structure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, taking I guess now taking the guesswork out of it, because like I was saying earlier, that's kind of where it's at right now. It's just everybody's guessing where it lands.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, and
It'd
one
be
person's
confusing for the
semi-sweet is
consumer.
not another person's semi-sweet.
That's
Right.
true
So
too.
it's a little bit
Oh yeah,
confusing.
that is definitely true. Yeah,
Yeah, like maybe if it was just required to put how much sugar is in the
Yeah.
cider on the bottle or something, like
Yeah.
that would be kind of cool. I would like that because yeah, if somebody says, yeah, this is medium dry cider, and then I have it, and I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. Like,
Yeah.
what? That's not
Yeah.
dry. Medium dry at all.
yeah. When we first started out doing our thing almost a year ago, that's about the only way we could tell people how sweet something was basically just to read the nutrition label, and you know, this has got X amount of grams of sugar. You know, but people are like, well, what does that mean? You know, and so you know, it's kind of, yeah, you're right. It would be kind of a much better to have some way to tell people.
Just put the ending residual sugar
Yeah.
on there for people. And
Absolutely.
then you can, yeah.
I totally agree with that. To have a better way to classify, you know, when you take a sip of this is what you're really getting. So,
Right.
yeah. Well, before we wrap things up here, tell us a little bit about your tasting room here. You know, kind of where people can find you exactly, and then just kind of what you do here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're easy to find. We're right off of Highway 86, just north of Hillsboro. There's a sign by the road, and we have plenty of parking. We have a lot of picnic tables outside.
10 miles north of downtown Hillsboro if you're getting off in downtown Hillsboro, yeah.
And then we have a real cozy little tasting room.
Yeah, just like a cozy
yeah.
wine. This is our
Yeah.
winery right here.
Yeah.
So it's, how many about square feet is this? It's like 2,000, maybe that's
Not
900. Maybe our tasting room's
No,
about
it's
900.
way less.
Is it? Really?
Yeah.
Jeez, 700?
It's
tiny.
small.
But,
It's cozy.
it's
yeah,
It's
but
nice.
we have
It's cozy.
a,
We
obviously
love it.
we're on a farm, so it's a
Yeah.
beautiful like farm setting. In the winter it's cozy.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
There's a pond out back, and then we also do you pick blueberries in the summer. So we've
got
a
a
lot
nice-
of people that will come out for that, and then some people will fish, and then they'll come and drink cider, and so.
we got a nice little walking trail
nice
through the
summer day.
woods too, and yeah, you can explore
Yeah.
all over. I mean, we've got 99 acres that her mother owns behind our 5-acre farm, so it's pretty neat. I think in the future we can do all sorts of kind of farm tours and stuff. We actually have another local farm on some of that property, Nourishing Acres back there, where we get a lot of our fruit
Okay.
and things, and
Yeah, melons, cucumbers, basil.
yeah,
They,
and we do a lot of events out here, especially in the summer, because that's when we can, you know, use the farm. And we're doing our first really big festival actually in April. So it's going to be called Bunk Down on the Farm,
Yes.
and
April 13th.
we're going to get really funky over here. Yeah, we're going to have an awesome band from Austin come play, and we're going to have oysters on the half shell and raw, and a bunch of Vimla's curry blossom, or Vimla's curry, and some kombucha, and then 20 different breweries that make some funky sour ciders, or farmhouse ales, wild stuff, and it's gonna be lots of fun.
Sweet. And you guys are selling tickets to that, right?
We are.
Yeah, they just went on sale on Friday, and the early bird tickets go through Monday, and then it's the regular tickets.
BotanistandBarrel.com.
There you go.
Find us on
find the tickets
Facebook
there.
too. Yeah, or Instagram, or
Yeah,
All that social media.
that's right.
that's right.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. We
Yeah,
really
thank you
appreciate you
guys.
taking the time to
Yeah,
sit down and talk
We
with
do
us.
too, yeah.
And hope, best wishes to your future endeavors, and hope that the canning goes well. And I know that we've been excited about some of the stuff that's coming out of these barrels in the past, and I'm excited about some of the stuff that's coming out of these barrels in the future. So, but yeah,
Let's drink some cider.
there you go.
Right here.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, if you're ever in this area or just want somewhere that you can spend a day, come down here to Botanist and Barrel and see these guys, and they'll be more than happy to show you around.
We'll take good care of ya.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, cider fans. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
Thanks.